Hey, do you know what? Yeah, talking about stuff on the internet, something that's been on the internet for a hot minute and we ain't even touched down on is Rainey's Black Bottom, produced by Denzel Washington, directed by George C. Wolfe, and starring the late great Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis. Now, I've got to say a little something about Chad. Now, back to the movie, because Chadwick, that's what you would want us to be talking about, and that's why you guys tuned in. The movie is based on a play looking at the experiences of the African American community in the 1920s. The event, despite being fictional, unfolds over a single afternoon in the life of the mother of blues, Ma Rainey. We are going to mix it up today, so let's just get straight into the film. I want to see what you guys are thinking. Do you think the director delivered with his interpretation of August Wilson's play, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? Did it deliver as a movie for you?
It was a really good play because I saw it at the theater, but as a movie, even when I was watching it, I could say it just felt like a play. It just felt like a play that was being filmed. The way the camera techniques, they were. I didn't think they were quite creative. The sets weren't anything new. It just felt like a play that was just being filmed, and a lot more could have gone into it. I could imagine if Quentin Tarantino or one of the big name directors were filming it, would they film it like that? I think they would have put more style to it.
Now, there were some powerful performances throughout the film from Chadwick Boseman, who played Levy, Viola Davis, who played Ma Rainey. What were your views on their performance, and were there any other characters that stood out for you?
As you know, the late great Chadwick Boseman, who passed away quite recently, he's been one of the primary, black actors in the sort of like the modern era that we look up to in regard to black representation in film, as you've seen like in some of the Marvel films. But in this film, I definitely saw a different side to him, which in my opinion, he basically gave the performance of a lifetime. He really put the effort in on this one, and he showed that he had many different diverse sides to his acting range. He definitely could portray someone who was hurt but angry at the same time and troubled deep down inside, who's obviously experienced quite a lot in the 1920s, where black people were very much treated as in a very inhumane manner. And I think he was really able to capture that. And, I don't know what personal experiences he had in his own life, but I'll tell you what, if he didn't have any, he is excellent at, taking from what he's seen of other people, because, wow, the performance was mind blowing. It was really good. The relationship and the chemistry he had with Ma herself, with Ma Rainey, I thought that was really good. Him and Viola Davis, and the whole band. To be fair, I think he really portrayed someone who was hurting, really, really very talented, but struggled to, accept the hand that was dealt to him in his life, and I think that was. Really reflected in his performance. So, I've heard that he might be tipped for an Oscar nomination, and I really hope that's true, because it was definitely an Oscar-worthy performance, and it will be something nice, for his family to receive, on behalf of him, for the amazing work that he's put in this film. He was an integral part of this film, and I definitely recommend people to watch this because it was really great.
If we're looking at Ma Rainey here, for me, Viola Davis as Ma Rainey, she's one to remember. She clearly, I mean, everybody stood out, but if we're talking about stood out right to the front, right in front of me, the fact is, I've never seen Ma Rainey before. I mean, live, just in person or anything like that. But Viola Davis, for me, brought her to life in a way. And it was like, whoa, you know what? This is amazing. But nonetheless, bringing it to the big screen, under these particular circumstances, or on the small screen, should I say, bringing it to into my home. I just loved it. I don't know much about Ma Rainey's life, so whatever Viola Davis portrayed, I took that on board. I did see Ma Rainey being portrayed by Monique, where she was acting alongside Queen Latifah, and the two actresses, Monique and Viola Davis, even though they brought something special, it was all different. Powerful black woman. And she brought everything that she had. She studied Ma Rainey. And the fact that she just brought her to the forefront, it was like, whoa. For me, I picked up on Ma Rainey's beard. You know what? I don't care what people think of me, or like it or lump it. And that's it. You know, she knew she had a talent, and Viola Davis brought this across. Yes, she's got a talent. Ma Rainey, she was like, they don't care nothing about me. All they want is my voice. And she knew that. And she had to work her way from where she was to what she became, because she knew how the industry was. In the 1920s, man, she was born something like 1896. And the way I can't imagine her life really, and how she had to deal with people in order to get to years or to where she was in the film. And it was amazing because, like I said, Viola Davis just hit me with that. Her acting was beautiful. The attitude, she could be passive yet aggressive. It was like crazy cool, man. It was amazing. I mean, I even loved the way that we knew that Ma Rainey, she was bisexual, and Bessie Smith was also bisexual as well. And Viola Davis brought that kind of masculine but feminine attribute or personality to the film itself, to that day in her life. I mean, even when she's sitting down and she's checking out her girl's backside, and she's just looking at her, she's thinking, yeah, I'm gonna tap that tonight. I mean, her attitude was just, I mean, she was a super diva. You could see that. I can't sing enough praises about Ma Rainey. And for me, Viola Davis just brought her to life, most definitely. And what I like, what she does is she strips her herself, her whole being, and builds herself from the ground up to become whatever character that she has to be. And that in itself is powerful, powerful. And especially in this one here with Ma Rainey, with the directors that were helping alongside her, and amazing performance. I can't thank her enough for actually introducing me to Ma Rainey.
Although I didn't think there was a lot of creativity in the way how it was filmed, performance wise, I thought the actors were fantastic. I thought all of the actors delivered. And yes, I thought Viola Davis performed amazing, and Chadwick Boseman, enough can't be said about them. But there were other actors that basically delivered just as much as these guys, but they were overshadowed by the star power that was there as well. I would have to give it to Coleman Domingo. I thought he was fantastic. He played Cutler. His interaction playing between him, Ma Rainey, and the rest of the bandmates, I thought how he communicated between both parties, and he was a person in between. I thought he was fantastic. There was Glyn Tunman. He's a legend when it comes to acting performances, and I've seen so many times he's delivered time and time again. So as well as the main cast, I thought the supporting cast were just equally as powerful, and that is what brought together a great end result.
I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about the protagonist in this movie, because we've both you've spoken there about both Ma Rainey, or the actors that played Ma Rainey, and also Levy. But out of those two, who is the real protagonist?
This is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. For instance, Levy's role. He's a young, up and coming individual. He wants to show everybody that, yeah, I've got talent. I'm young. I've got the skills. But you got Ma Rainey there, who she's been bitten by people before. I mean, she trusted Bessie Smith, and Bessie Smith kind of overshadowed her as time went on, and she kind of faded into the background. So she didn't trust Levy. And she kind of had to push him away, to say, you know what, this is about me. This is my show. You know, I do what I want to do. I will fire you. She was the one who was in control, man. So this was about Ma Rainey and her Black Bottoms. Chadwick Boseman, he played a blinding role. I mean, there's so many nuances to him. Angry man. He just wanted to be there. He wanted to be up front. He wanted to take it all. He wanted everything to be about him, when clearly it was about Ma Rainey. This is my show. You know, I mean, I remember there was a classic moment where she just said, "Oh," when the producer was saying, "Oh, we gotta get ready in like 15 minutes." My girl just say, "Yo, we're ready to go. When I say we're ready to go," and that's the way it goes around here. Come on, you don't mess with her. This is my show. I'm here to stay. Period.
Although the play was called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and you would expect Ma Rainey to be the protagonist, as my learned colleague has just said, I would definitely say that Levy was definitely the protagonist throughout this production. Basically, from his first introduction when he was playing and he was stepping into the limelight, and the symbolism there that he wanted to be in the forefront, which continued throughout basically the whole movie. And all the symbolisms throughout the play happened to him. Symbolisms with the shoes, him trying to open the metal door, basically showing him that he wanted to break through, he wanted his own freedom. And all the conflicts that he created throughout the play allowed the narrative to be pushed forward. So it was clear that even though it wasn't named after him, he was the star character. And he was virtually in majority of the scenes that created the tension throughout the movie.
Now, one of the things that's come up a lot with people who have seen the film so far, it has been out a while. By the way, it is on Netflix. Go check it out. If you got the subscription, it's one of those things that I think that should be on the most viewed for the next 12 months, just because I support Black content basically, and it's a brilliant piece of Black content. But to the point I was trying to get to is that, there has to be some criticism in any film, and people will always have their opinions. I think we know that P has always got something to criticize in everything that we watch. But one of the things that's come up in this film is that it's too dialogue heavy. It doesn't explore outside of the group or further. It doesn't explore blues, the culture, the lifestyle. It doesn't. There's so many avenues that it could go down. Do you think that those people who did that didn't actually get the point, in that this was narrowing down on some very well written characters and their individual storylines, that it didn't need that extra? That extra might have even spoiled it. But you guys take the floor. Tell me what you think.
Do you know what? There was definitely a lot of dialogue throughout the whole film, and lots of touching, thought-provoking moments, but I mean, the film was, being based on a play by August Wilson, who also did the playwright for Fences, is also known for covering issues such as, the struggle Black Americans faced, after slavery or during the Jim Crow era, and still living in a white society. So for me, I'm not surprised. It just makes sense based on who wrote the story. Complaining about it and stuff like that, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's because they don't know enough about his work. Maybe.
So we're not talking about the whole history of the blues or anything. We're talking about her just traveling with her band, going to record a little session and heading back to the hotel, heading back home. And that's it. So we're talking about a short 2 hours clip of her life rather than the whole history of her life. So it will be dialogue heavy because it's something we've got to understand all that went on between her, the band, the producers, and they gave you a snapshot of the environment, the surrounding areas, and a little bit of history as well. So they tried to cram a lot in at the same time.
Now, one of the things that I noticed a lot in this film was there was a key theme around relationships, how each person interacted with each other, and also like Ma Rainey's relationship with her band. And that was a key theme in the play as well, not just the film. And that's something that they've carried through. Out of all of the relationships, though, did any of them stand out to you?
Let's start off with Levy, for instance, because he touched everybody. I mean, they all touch each other, not touched each other as in literally speaking as such. Actually, he did go and touch Ducey, didn't he? Because he just wanted that gal. He just wanted some ass, man. The fact that Levy, I know P talked about him being the protagonist, and yes, there are the elements there because he interacted with everybody. He went above and beyond to interact with everybody. I mean, he even not only did he want to take away from Ma Rainey what she was giving him, she was giving him the opportunity to step up there and be a musician and show that he's talented and just be on her record label. But the man even wanted to take her gal. Come on, man. That's kind of like no. You don't take another woman's gal. You don't even take another man's gal. But the way he engaged with his bandmates as well, even Lil Sylvester, he straight away he knocked Sylvester out of the park because he was saying, you know what? Nah, you star. You got no place here, really and truly. But Ma Rainey just stood up there. So everybody he wanted to go and actually just antagonize in a way. What does the shoes mean? The brogues. I mean, I like my bros as well. My man, he spent big money on his shoes, and he knows that, listen, this is my relationship with my shoes. I've put on my shoes and I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna play the best music ever. You know, and like I was saying to him, it's like when we're kids, we get a new pair of shoes. You know, you're running faster than anybody else. You know, you put on your pair of Jordans and you flying. You know what I mean? You nothing but rim shoes. There's symbolisms there, and I know for him it was about like social mobility, and there was also aspects of exploitation as well because the relationship with him and the producer, it was classic how he took a lot of his anger out on everybody else around him. I know he was an angry guy. So this reminded me of a piece of Boondocks where, and they call it that end moment. You know what moment I'm talking about, innit? You don't step on a man traders or nothing like that because you know what happens. It was also in Do the Right Thing as well. You know, you step on my trainers, you know what happens. And even people like Elvis, he said, boy, don't step on my blue suede shoes. You get me? So there's a massive thing around that. But his relationship again with the producer, I remember the part where the producer saying, just I'll give you $5 for the pieces of music that you want to give me, because no one's really listening to your music, but I'll buy the songs from you, $5 and stuff. And he's saying, well, people aren't playing it the way I will play it. You know, if I played it the way I want to play it because I wrote it, then it'll be hits. And he even stepped up to producer, like stepping up another level on the stairs and almost grinning with it. You know, he said that his father would smile in the face of the white man and know him in his mind what he's going to do. But the moment he stepped up, he had to step back down because he knows that he will get nowhere. You know, his relationship with all the band members as well. And what did he go and do? He almost goes and picks on the oldest person there because everybody else was like running jokes with him. Cutler even stepped on his feet as well. And he didn't do nothing. He stepped on the shoes. He didn't really do anything. But check this, when Toledo stepped on his feet, on his shoes, and even though he apologized, look at what happened. It was that end moment again. And it's sad to see this, but we're talking about relationships here. He couldn't do anything to protect his mom. And he heard his mom saying, Lord, have mercy on me. And he was feeling that the Lord or God wasn't on his side. But then I was saying the Lord was on his side because at the end of the day, yes, the white man cut him. So ultimately, he saved her life. So there was divine intervention. But because he was so angry, he didn't even see that. And when you start arguing with God, you taking it on a different level. I know there was a lot of blaspheming in this film here as well. And we're talking about his relationship with God now. there was a lot of blasphemy. And I was wondering, is there an element of it that's a sort of, I am really angry at you because of what's happening to me? Not in the film, but what's happening to me in reality. Because I can see the saliva was just coming from his mouth. It was like, whoa, this guy, yeah, I know he's a very good actor, but there was something deep in his soul that hit, and he was angry at God. Yes, he was angry at Cutler's God, and Cutler was angry as back. Don't be angry at my God, but you don't get angry at God. You don't challenge God, because God is the one that's in control. All right, Ma Rainey was the one in control in this particular situation, but ultimately God is the one in control, and that's my personal opinion. You don't argue with God. You don't create conflict with God, especially if you're a true believer. So it's your relationships with everybody and all things that count. And his relationship with everybody, it was so symbolic. I mean, his relationship with the door as well, his relationship with the struggles in his life. Come on, man. It's his relationship upon relationship upon relationship. And I think it all was brought together so beautifully. It was just fantastic the way they just brought it all together, and sad at the same time as well.
You maxed out, bro. You
Uh,
took us on a journey. Like, I was thinking it would have been an overseas
oh,
journey,
God.
but that was like an intergalactic journey, bro. But for real, like, talking of looking into things and the wider context of the play, which is now a movie. Do you think it is reflective? I know you touched on it a bit there, Des, but like, Sean, do you think it's reflective of today's society, some of the stuff that's going on?
There's definitely something symbolic about the performance from Chadwick Boseman playing the character Levy, because I mean, you see it in today's society where the simplest of things affect people. Material things. Like the reference to the shoes there. He's bought this nice pair of shoes, which I mean, I didn't particularly. It's not my taste, but I guess back then it was like something really like popping. Do you know what I mean? But you could see, like, he took a lot of pride in it, and he also took a lot of pride in the respect that he thought he was entitled to only by black people. So for some reason, it put him in a state of mind where he treated black people a lot differently. So I think there's definitely, and when I say differently, I mean he treated black people worse than he did treat white people, for example. So there's definitely something symbolic in that, in the mentality that you see sometimes in general throughout the world. And a lot of this does come from the media. What people see at some point, it's at a subconscious level that people sort of act on it without even realizing. So there was definitely some symbolism in that, and there was definitely symbolism. I know there was a reference to the door that he kept trying to open, the door that leads to nowhere, where he was trying throughout the whole film. I just kept sitting there thinking whilst I was watching, why does he keep trying to open the door? Like, the door's not opening, just leave it alone. But for some reason, obviously, he just kept trying and trying and trying. And I suppose that was in reference to the fact that he was trying to, maybe take his talents, because he was a talented guy, and see if he could, take that to build his own career without Ma. And, the fact that, he opened the door finally, and it was just like literally brick walls all around him. So it was just nothing. It was the wall to nowhere. It was the door to nowhere. So, and you think of that scene when he asks the music record producer, can he perform his own songs that he's written and given to him? And he was like, I'll only give you $5 for it. So, I mean, you saw that he tried really hard to go off on his own and make his own music, but then that door was shut when he tried his best, to make his own music. So I think there was, definitely a lot of symbolism throughout the whole film. It's definitely reflective of today's society and what people go through. I actually think a lot of people will hopefully learn from this, because you could see at the end the reaction that he had when one of his bandmates stepped on his shoes. Literally the second after he stabbed him, and I know it's a spoiler, but you could see that pain that he felt because he knew what he did was really, really wrong. And it was almost like he actually loved the guy, but he do you know what I mean? The pride and all the subconscious, negative thoughts towards, his own people made him act in a way that obviously caused a lot of grief for his life in the end. So it's quite touching them talking about it, to be fair.
Boom, like this film, it just, there's so much to it. I feel like, again, one of them films you're gonna have to watch again and again. You're gonna watch it a few times, and every time you watch it, you pick up on something new. Although after this review, I gotta say there's a few things in this that I'm gonna think twice about, and again, they're gonna make me want to watch the film again. But like, before I do that, obviously the most important part of the show, the reason why everyone has a YouTube account, is so that they can do a thumbs up or a thumbs down to your star rating. So OG, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or are you just gonna blast it out there and give it 20,000?
Man, I thought you were singing there, man. I thought it was gonna be like a 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Right? I thought that's what you were doing. I was thinking, what? From my ready to this? Oh, come on.
It was some gin juice, but I really don't want it. Oh, man.
Yo, I want to study this, man. This is literature as well. I want to go into theater, like P said, and I want to watch it, and I want to see the talent in all of these people. I know Viola Davis, and she's not going to bring this into the theater, so we're going to have somebody that can play her as good as, and this will probably come through from one of August Wilson's academies that he tends to run for young people in the competitions where they just do particular monologues and stuff. This is I want to go 5, but I'm gonna have to give it 4. I wanted more from the other characters as well, and so for me it's a high 4, whatever that is, man, and it's just maybe just scraping the sky of 5. Yeah, but definitely a high 4.
For me, I would have to give it a 4, and the only reason it doesn't get 5 for me, I thought the performances were amazing. I thought the lead performances were great. I thought the supporting performances were great, and the music was good. I would have loved to have heard more from Viola Davis and her actual voice. I'd love to have heard her more because I know she's a super talented woman. But it was the directing. I thought the director could have been a little bit more creative with his cinematography, and I think that was a little sticking point for me. But for the rest of it, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, for me, I really like this film. There was pretty much most of it was enjoyable. The one thing for me, and this is one thing that I struggle with any film that's set in one location, for me, I always find that difficult. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 4 stars.
I'm on the same page as you guys, 4 stars. Although the reason for me, I think the big thing that was missing for me anyway was the cinematography. Now it was brilliantly made, brilliantly filmed. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. For me, I just felt that it could have been more intense. When some of those shots were showing some of those reactions and those conversations, I feel like the shots could have been that bit tighter. They could have picked up on the vibe in the room, the emotion in the room, and what was being said and what was going on. I don't know. I felt like it just wasn't tight enough, and that's not really a negative. That's just maybe a personal preference. But overall, it was a sick film, and I'm with you. It's a high 4, and then I thought, what's a high 4? Well, that's a 4, isn't it? It could be like a high, nearly a 5, but that's above a 4, isn't it? But yeah, it's like nearly a 5 maybe for me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm always wanting to hear. We love chatting about the comments, so hit us up down below. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Did you enjoy it? Did you fall asleep? Was it not your thing? Do you agree with me? Do you think maybe the cinematography could have been different? Let us know, man. We love to get involved in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button. And we'd definitely love to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. You got like, what, 48 hours? Go. Where's that tune? Run. Yeah, hit up that subscribe button. Tell your mom, tell her friends, tell her friends. You can give them my number, which is down in the comments. Tell them they can find my number in the comment. I'm playing. You know what it is, man. It's Chatterbox. We're also on the socials. Make sure you hit us up there. Tell us what you're looking forward to 2021. There's so much to come. It has been a pleasure reviewing films and doing everything that we do, especially with you guys. Got to give a mad shout. He's not here tonight, but it's the ladies' love. Been a big part of it. Big up Doug's as well, who's done a few things with us. Obviously, Marcy. We've had a few special guests. It's been beautiful. So, and big shout to OG, Dano, the one and only. It's the real brother, Des. Big up, man. Oh, there he's there. Easy. Dano, the guy with the magic fingers, he makes the edits happen. Bing, bang, bong. It's the Harry bro. It's the turtleneck. It's the pessimistic brother. Ping. And the original garage skanker, the man who brings the vibes, the rum, the times, the what? Yeah, it's Sean. It's the brother.
Yo, peace out, people.
No love hearts tonight. I'm hurting.
No. Come on. Happy New Year.
Yeah, don't know. Anyway, big up you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell next to it. It lets you know when our videos are up and coming out. Peace, love. It's Chatterbox. Happy New Year, people.
2021.
We didn't say anything on this channel. A lot was going on at the time. A lot of people were saying a lot of things. And Chadwick Boseman, he's someone who's done a lot for a lot of people. There's many things that have come out about him since his passing, and he's blessed us with his talent and blessed us with many more things. I don't need to repeat a lot of the great things that have been said about such a great guy, because I'm sure many of you have found it on the internet or seen or heard about it in the days after his passing. But one of the greatest that we were unlucky enough to lose so soon, but definitely blessed, and we're grateful for having on this earth and giving us, sharing with us the talent that he had in the time that he was here. Oh my days. And he, for me, is another example of how much talent this guy had, and it's a great chance to have a chat about it. So enough love to the Boseman family, the people in his life that are remembering him right now, and massive respect to the big man. You've done a lot for us. We're excited to see what else you might have left in store for us to view and watch. And most importantly, I've got to point out the fact that having more black role models like him, who totally stamped down on the stereotypes that are put on black men and black people in community, is always a blessing upon our communities, to have that kind of role model. So thank you, Chadwick, for doing that and standing up to some of the problems we have in this world today.